Let's vibe, let's roll, let's get it. Whoa, shawty showing out, throwing on the dance floor. Fashion killer, huh? You don't give a fuck what a nigga gotta say or a bitch. What?
Hey guys, it's Naimahrae and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button to join the fam because we stay lit over here. You feel me? And if you're a returning viewer, hey, hi, how y'all doing? Happy New Year. By the time you guys see this video, it will definitely be 2021 because right now, I'm still in 2020. As you guys can tell by the title of this video, your girl, alright, I'm gonna be telling you guys about how I had a horrible coworker hangout that just went very wrong for me and one of my friends. But we gonna get into the story. But before we get into the story, okay? Before we get into the story, I do have a couple announcements. I think I'm gonna start a new Storytime series on my channel about my bad job experiences. Let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing that in the comments down below. Also, I'm gonna continue the high school crush series. I promise y'all. I know I say it all the time. Look, I've been chilling. I've been relaxing because it's been the holidays, but it's a new year. Time to get back on the grind, okay? Hope everybody, enjoyed their holidays or whatever. I don't want to ramble too much, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Ignore the pen. Get started into the video. Okay, so to start off, I used to work with this girl, and we're gonna call her Nancy, okay? Not gonna lie, Nancy was real cool. She was cool. She was funny. Not gonna lie, she was kind of mean a lot of the time. Yeah, she was kind of mean. She was one of those people who you just had to watch what you told her, because if you told her certain things, like, she would like throw it back in your face. Like, she was that type of person. So I would just watch what I told her, because I ain't like that. I ain't really, like, I don't want you throwing things back in my face that, it's gonna hurt my feelings or whatever, One day I come to work and I'm like really frustrated. Honestly, my life was in shambles. My love life was in shambles. So I decided to vent about my love life. Now, granted, let me clarify some things because I feel like this is gonna be a mess. Even though this story time is here and this story time is happening, you guys will figure out the rest as it goes. Everybody was kind of like a family. Everybody would come up there, they would vent, they would talk about whatever they went through, blah, blah, blah. We offer advice, shoulder to cry on. Like, that's pretty much just like how our team was set up. And I really appreciated it about our team. So we were all kind of close, but not close, but we was close, if that makes sense. I don't know if that made sense, but it made sense to me. I came in and I was venting about my love life. I don't remember if I was necessarily talking to Nancy or if I was just talking to somebody else and they overheard me talking to, she overheard me talking to them. Don't really know. I know I talked to my other coworker about it. We're gonna call him David. I had told him, I was like, yeah, this guy's not even my boyfriend. And he was like, oh, that's not even your boyfriend? Because I had been referring to the person that I was talking to, or whatever the case may be, at the time as my boyfriend. Just keep things simple, because I ain't feel like having nobody all up in my business. And look, I know what y'all thinking. Well, Naimah, you put everybody all up in your business. Yeah, I know I put everybody in my business. But I was frustrated, okay? And you do stupid things out of frustration. This is why you have to calm down and think about things before you do them. Anyways, that's beside the point. A couple weeks go by and our team, we were really I don't know what was going on. It was I guess we had all just realized at this time that we had been working together for a while. It was we ain't never hung out before. We should all hang out. So a lot of that was going around. Everybody was just clicking with everybody. The team was good. Everybody was good. I was hanging out with one of my coworkers and one of my friends one time, and I remember him saying something slick about my boyfriend. And I was like, where did you hear that from? And he was like, oh, they was talking about it at work and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And I kind of just brushed it off, because I was just like, okay, well, they can say what they want at work. It don't matter, because I know what's going on in my relationship. They don't know nothing. At the end of the day, they only know what I told them, and what I was telling them was out of frustration. So that's how I was thinking about it. I completely brushed it off. I didn't really care. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm getting talked about. Cool, whatever. Fast forward a little after that, David, he makes a plan to hang out. Hey, let's meet up at this place. Let's do something, blah, 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 blah. And so we start a group chat. Everybody's in the group chat. He's like, who's all coming? And everybody's like, me. Everybody already knew this, because I had seen most of the people throughout the week. I was like, oh, I'll let you guys know if I'm coming, because my sister is getting married the next day. The next day, Like, the plans were on Saturday. On the Sunday, my sister, her wedding was that day, and I had stuff to do in the morning. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, like, I didn't know if everything was gonna flow the way I needed it to. And so they was like, okay, yeah, we understand your situation or whatever. The day comes for the hangout, right? And I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna go, like, I'm gonna have fun. Because honestly, I was kind of iffy about going because I just didn't want to show up alone. Because even though they were my coworkers and I had, like, always seen them and worked with them, I have bad social anxiety, y'all. And I was just really like, oh my gosh, like, I'm scared. Like, I'm gonna go there, they gonna laugh at me. Like, I don't know. This is the thought process in my head. Y'all, if you have social anxiety, you get it. But, like, I was just like, I'm not sure if I want to go. Like, what if I go and, like, it just goes bad, blah, blah, blah. I should have listened to myself. I was iffy about going, and then finally I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have fun. I need to work on this social anxiety thing, so I'm gonna go. So it comes to that night, right? Y'all, it is pouring. I mean, it is storming so bad outside. Like, it was the rain that you can't see when you drive in it. Like, that type of rain. Like, it was bad. Places was flooding and everything. Now, look, I had sent a message in the group chat. I was like, hey, like, are we still on for tonight? Because, like, it's storming really bad. Somebody said that it wasn't storming that bad where they was at. I was like, okay. A lot of people actually said that. And I was kind of confused. I was like, is it just where I'm at? Like, I'm confused. Like, why it gotta be me? Huh? Why me? One of my other coworkers, who we're gonna call Megan. Yeah, she FaceTimed me. She's like, hey, are you still going tonight? And I was like, I honestly don't know. Like, because I had sent in the group chat, I was like, it's raining, like, really hard. And the place is 30 minutes away from me. And I don't want to drive in that. Because I didn't. I was like, I'm not about to drive in something that I can't see at night. Like, no. So she was like, are you still going? I was like, I don't know. Like, it depends on the weather. I was like, maybe it'll die down, like, closer to the time that we're actually supposed to meet there. And she was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going either, and blah blah blah, because she had actually just got done working. And I was like, oh, okay, well, so we're on the phone literally for probably like 2-3 hours debating whether we want to go or not. And I was like, it really just depends on the weather. And so people are in the group chat and they're like, oh, rain don't stop plans, we're still going, blah blah blah. David, the person who makes the plan, he even in the group chat like, I don't know, it is raining kind of hard. And I was like, bro, you made the plan. Like, how you can't back up your own plan? He was like, no, I'm coming, y'all. I was just playing. So literally like 2-3 hours go by, and finally me and Megan, we decide that we're gonna go. Now, not only was the weather playing a factor, but she didn't feel like driving. I didn't have a problem driving, but it was just the place was really far, and like I said, it was raining really bad. And then, like, I was like, girl, I could take you, but her coming here was out of her way. And we were trying to coordinate how we wanted to get there together, because we knew we wanted to go together, but we didn't know how we was going to carpool to get together, because she lives like, I think like 30 minutes away from me. So really it was like a lose-lose for me. So we ended up meeting at the job so that way she could ride with me, and we just rode there. Turns out the place was actually like 15 minutes away from my job, which was so weird to me. Y'all, it was so frustrating. Like, the whole thing was very frustrating. It took us forever to come to a decision on if we were going or not. The rain was still really bad, okay, when I left my house. Like, let me tell y'all, I was driving and I could not see. I had to put my emergency hazards on because I could not see anything. But then finally, when I got to the job and I met up with Megan, I was like, okay, cool. Like, we could be on the way now. So at this point, we're running like maybe like an hour and a half late, right? Probably just an hour. I don't think it was that bad. And then when we put in the directions to get to the place, the way to get on the highway was flooded. Like, I mean, there was cars sitting in it stuck. And I was like, bro. So we had to figure out a way around. So then on top of that, like, it made us like probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours late. Like, we was just really late to the hangout. I realized I forgot to say, David actually offered to come pick up me and Megan. I said no because I wanted to drive because I had something to do the next morning. So yeah, that also was part of the reason why we were so late, because we were trying to situate things with him and figure that out and blah blah blah. But anyways, back to the story. We get to the place, everybody's upstairs. It's like this big table, and we're like, hey, like, great thing it was not crowded, which I really appreciate. But we're like, hey, First of all, we didn't get no seats, okay? There was no seats there. And luckily, David's roommate was there and brought us some seats. I appreciate that, okay? Very gentlemanlike. I was like, okay. And so all of a sudden, everybody wants to come at me and Megan for being late. Everybody's like, oh, why did it take y'all so long? And blah, 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 blah. Like, literally, like, probably like a smooth half of the table was talking to us about why we were so late. And Megan was like, bro, like, this is not the job. She was like, we are hanging out. She was like, there's no time clock. It don't matter if we was late or not, and blah, blah, blah. Like, literally, I promise you guys, that argument went on for like 15, 20 minutes. It was completely... Y'all, it was so frustrating because it was so irrelevant. Like, okay, we're late. Like, the good thing is that we're here. And that's, thank God, somebody actually said that. It was like, oh, well, it doesn't matter. You guys made it here. You're safe and blah, blah, blah. Because they thought that we was making excuses. But I was like, bro, like, I don't know how it was raining over where y'all was at. But where I was at, it was storming. The highway was freaking flooded. Like, what? Like, why would I be making up it? Whatever. It's probably like, I don't even know how many people was there. I was slightly confused because I had asked. I was like, oh, like, are outside people, like, other people, like, if I bring my friend, is that allowed? Somebody told me no. But yet there was people there that had brought their friends. So I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm sitting there, I'm talking to Megan and David and two other people, I think, and Nancy was also a part of the conversation. And we were just all talking, and I think somebody had asked, what's the move after this, or whatever the case may be. And I was like, oh, like, you know, I have to go home because tomorrow is my sister's wedding and I'm supposed to be like with my boyfriend in the morning because he has to go get a haircut. And Nancy, y'all, this is where the problem came in at. This is where the problem came in. Nancy was like, well, what does your boyfriend do for you? And I was like, excuse me? Look, y'all know I don't tolerate disrespect on this channel, okay? I don't tolerate disrespect at all. If you watch my other story times, you know how they have went. I could get real disrespectful with you if you want to get disrespectful with me. I don't like when people come for me. I don't like when people come for my friends. I don't like when people come for my family. All of that, off limits. Don't do it. Like, I'm not the one. And I don't know if because, you know, you work with me, you think I'm this sweet, nice person. Of course I'm gonna be sweet and nice at work. It's work. You gotta be sweet and nice at work, even if you don't want to. But I was just very taken aback, very confused. And I was just like, a lot, actually. And y'all, look, thank God for Megan, because if Megan was not there and if she did not jump in, I was about to get real disrespectful with Nancy. And I did not want to do that because I worked with her still. So I wasn't trying to step on nobody's toes. I wasn't trying to cross no boundaries, but she was pushing it with that little comment. I don't like what, I feel the anger coming back, y'all, because that was out of pocket. And Megan was like, whoa, what we're not going to do is like come for her like that and blah, blah, blah. And then Nancy proceeds to start talking about Megan's situation. And I was like, wait, what are you doing? Like, why are we bringing that up here? Like, why are we talking about it now? And then she comes back to me, like she was just bouncing between both of us. Now, mind you, I will say that there was alcohol at this place, okay? And Nancy apparently was a little tipsy, drunk, whatever you want to call it. But regardless, that was still really out of pocket. David was drunk and he chimed in and he was like, but that guy's not even your boyfriend though. And I was like, okay. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't really remember what was said after that because I was just in my head like, do I really need to get out of pocket here now? And I was really like debating it in my head. But David did tell me that he didn't remember saying that because he was drunk, so I'll let him slide, you know, okay, cool, whatever. After that, it just felt like everybody was attacking me and Megan specifically. And it was all for no reason. First, it was because we were late. The second thing is about our personal lives. Like, why are you bringing that up at this huge table full of, like, I don't even know how many people it was. It was probably like 15, 16. That's a lot of people for you to be bringing up personal situations. Like, just because you overheard or we told you at work does not mean that you need to bring it up, because like I said, not everybody who was there works with us. And so some people that were there, they just didn't need to know. Granted, half of the table, they had their own conversation going on, so it was only like half of the table that was like involved in this little situation. But me and Nancy and Megan, we were all like kind of going at it verbally. Me and Megan, we were kind of trying to keep it like reeled in, because it was like, okay, like we're not trying to like go extra hard, because we were both kind of taken aback, because like, bro, why are you like, for what? Like, it's not that deep. So at the end of all of this, pretty much like everything kind of calmed down a little bit, but I was just kind of ready to go. Megan was ready to go. We were both ready to go. The place apparently closed like at 2, and we thought it closed at like 3. So like, or 1, no, it closed at 1 and we thought it closed at 2 or something like that. So we ended up having to leave anyways. So after that, I just kind of moved past like all the events that had happened that night and day, because look, I feel like, I think I said this in like my last video. No, not my last video. Completely not my last video. In one of my videos, I have talked about how like I don't let certain things bother me anymore. I think it was in my chit chat, get ready with me. I don't let a lot of things bother me anymore, because I know I have bigger things to worry about. So I had just put the whole situation like completely behind me. I just looked past it or whatever. I get to work the next week. Why is it a topic of conversation of how late me and Megan were? Why is this relevant? Why is it relevant that we were late to a hangout, an event? It was not work. Like, what? Okay, so there was that. And then, like, me and her, we was talking about, well, you guys were coming at us for being late for no reason. Well, why did you guys show up so late? Blah, blah, blah. Like, people were really, like, on that, and we just didn't understand why. And so that was the topic of conversation for literally, like, 2-3 weeks after the fact. It was quite annoying, and I literally kept telling people, I was like, bro, it happened. It is what it is. Like, can we stop talking about it now? Because it's not relevant anymore. Like, come on. Then, one fine evening, Megan calls me, right? And Megan's like, hey, have you heard anybody like saying anything about me or whatever the case may be? And I was like, no, why? And so I'm not gonna put her business out there like that, because that's not my story to tell. But apparently people were going around, one specific person was going around saying some very rude things about Megan and like disrespectful things about her and calling her different names and stuff. And I was like, I haven't heard any of this. And she was like, well, it's probably because they're talking about you too and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you talking about Nancy, aren't you? And she was like, I mean, yeah. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm not surprised. I was like, because that's just like what she does. That's how she is, which is also part of the reason why I was kind of unbothered about them talking about my relationship. And I told Megan, I was like, at the end of the day, I know what's going on with my situation. You know what's going on with your situation, and you know yourself. So you can't let that bother you. But Nancy was out of pocket for over here spreading rumors or whatever the case may be, whatever she was doing after that whole hangout. And after I had vented about my love life, because at the end of the day, it was none of her business to be concerned with. It really wasn't anybody's business, if I'm being quite honest, but it definitely wasn't her place to go and like talk about us behind our backs. It was actually kind of rude. And one thing that I really don't like, because I knew how Nancy was as a person, I just never took her as the type of person to talk about someone behind their back. Because like I said, most of my coworkers were older than me. She's one of those coworkers that was older than me. So I was just like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, come on now. Seriously, we're not in high school. And I wasn't about to bother myself with this high school drama. At the end of the day, I always feel like if somebody has something to say, they can come to my face and say it politely and we can talk it out like the grown adults that we are. After that, there was definitely a little bit of a shift in the coworker dynamic a little bit, because people knew like that Nancy was talking about me and Megan, and stuff was being said that didn't need to be said, and it was a little different. So yeah, that was pretty much the end of the story. In conclusion, the lesson here is just watch what you tell people, especially when you're frustrated. Like, you have to if you can, just like write it out or like say it to yourself, write it in your notes. I don't know. Tell somebody you know. You cannot tell everybody everything. And granted, some of this is my fault, but at the end of the day, if some people was minding their business, we wouldn't have this story time to tell. You know, we would not have the story time to tell because some people decided to get out of pocket. Nancy. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media, which is always in the description box down below. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.
I want a chick that grind on a 9 to 5. Oh, she in them college books trying to get a rise. But tonight, I'm just trying to have a good time.